Have you ever stopped to think that the little things you do every day, like grabbing that morning coffee or taking a quick walk, are actually literally rebuilding your brain? Well, it turns out they are. We're going to dive into the really cool science that connects our simplest habits to our brain's health at a cellular level. It's pretty fascinating.
All right, let's start with a bit of a mystery. Get this. According to a 2007 study from Oxford University, you, an adult, have about 41% fewer neurons than a brand new baby. Now, just hearing that, it sounds bad, right? I mean, if we're losing almost half our brain cells, how on earth do we get smarter and more capable as we get older? It doesn't seem to add up. So, this paradox, this weird fact, is actually the key to our first big idea today. It turns out that having more brain cells isn't the whole story. Not even close. The real secret to a smarter, more efficient brain is all about how it changes over time. Okay, look at this comparison here. It shows you exactly what's going on. A newborn's brain is just packed with potential, tons and tons of neurons, but the connections between them are kind of weak and messy. An adult brain, though, it has fewer neurons, for sure, but the connections that are left are like superhighways, incredibly strong, fast, and efficient. So you see, it's not about the number of cells, it's all about the quality of the network. So, the big question is, how does the brain go from that dense jungle of weak links to a streamlined network of superhighways? Well, this brings us to a process that's as powerful as it is, well, surprising. It's your brain's amazing ability to get stronger by deleting stuff. Yeah, this process is called synaptic pruning. And the best way to think about it is like a master gardener tending to a rose bush. Your brain literally trims away the connections between neurons that you're not using. And why does it do that? So it can pour all that saved energy and all those resources into strengthening the connections you use all the time. It is the ultimate use it or lose it principle, hardwired right into your biology. And this quote from James Clear just nails it. Every single time you practice a skill, repeat a thought, or do a habit, you are sending a direct message to your brain. You're saying, hey, this connection right here is important. Keep it. Make it stronger, faster, better. Your daily actions are literally sculpting the physical architecture of your mind. It's incredible. Okay, so pruning makes the whole network stronger. Got it. But what about the neurons themselves? What's keeping those individual cells healthy and running at peak performance? To understand that, we need to zoom in, way in, from the big picture of brain networks down to the tiny cellular engines that power everything. And this is the next really crucial question, right? Strengthening the connections is one piece of the puzzle, but how do we protect the actual brain cells from damage and, just getting old? Well, the answer lies in these two opposite states that your cells are constantly flipping between. So the first state is called the anabolic state. Think building up. When you've eaten, when you're resting, your cells go into what's called a build and store mode. This whole process is driven by a pathway called mTOR. You can just think of it as your body's growth phase. It's absolutely essential, but it's only half the story. Because the second state, and this is the one we're really going to focus on, is the catabolic state. Think breaking down. When you introduce a little bit of stress, like exercise or fasting, your cells flip a switch. They go into clean and repair mode. This is driven by a different pathway called AMP. This is your brain's resilient state. It's when all the important cellular cleanup and recycling happens. And here's the coolest part. We can actually trigger this clean and repair mode on purpose. We have the power to flip these master switches inside our cells, just by the things we choose to do every day. The key is something scientists call beneficial stressors. Now, we're not talking about chronic, damaging stress from work or life. Nope. We're talking about short, manageable challenges. Things like a brisk walk, a quick set of push-ups, or just waiting a little longer to eat. These things send a powerful signal to your cells, basically telling them, hey, pause the growth for a minute. It's time to clean house. And when you flip that switch, you activate this amazing cellular cleanup crew. First up, you've got AMPK. It's like your cell's low fuel sensor. It detects you're using energy, and it sounds the alarm to get things going. That in turn kicks on autophagy, which is basically the cell's recycling program, breaking down old junky parts. And at the same time, these stressors boost something called BDNF, which is like pure fertilizer for your brain, helping new neurons grow. And this chart just shows it perfectly. Look what happens with just one session of exercise.
That growth pathway, mTOR, it goes down. But the repair and resilience crew, AMPK and BDNF, they shoot way up. You are literally, temporarily, hitting the pause button on growth to powerfully activate maintenance, repair, and regeneration.
Okay, so this is all amazing science, but let's be real. Remembering things like AMPK and autophagy is a bit much. So how do we actually connect all this deep, complex biology to our real lives? Well, this is where a brilliantly simple tool comes into play. This is the habit stacking formula, and it was popularized by James Clear. The whole idea is so simple, it's genius. Instead of trying to will a new habit into existence out of thin air, you just link it to something you already do automatically. You piggyback the new habit onto the momentum of an old one. And it's just a simple 3-step process. First, you pick a habit you already do every single day without fail, like pouring your morning coffee. Second, choose a really small new habit that we know triggers those cellular benefits, like doing just a few push-ups. And third, you just link them together with that simple formula. Now let's look at how this works. This is really where it all comes together. That simple little stack, after I pour my coffee, I will do 20 push-ups. That's a direct signal to fire up AMPK, your low fuel sensor. That 10-minute walk after lunch, you're literally telling your brain to release more BDNF, that brain fertilizer. And that 1 single minute of meditation after you brush your teeth, that helps lower stress, which creates a better environment for all your cells. See, you're connecting a simple action directly to profound biological renewal. So really, the only question left is this. What is one tiny, super simple habit you could stack onto your routine, starting today, to begin activating your body's own powerful system for building a better, stronger, more resilient brain from the inside out?